And I saw wrestling very much in that spirit of celebration. And,
Totally.
you know, I have to ask you a couple of questions because now, now I've got you here. Who do you consider, in your humble opinion, who do you consider to be the GOAT? I mean, who is the greatest? I mean, in
Oh,
pro
what do you mean?
wrestling,
Like who is the best entertainer?
all
The
ar-
best,
all around.
the
So
best,
so
the
so let
best
me
wrestler
let me draw a pair.
that's still wrestling. The
Yes,
best wrestler in the world. If you really know wrestling, you know John Cena can't wrestle at all. First of all, I mean he's a great entertainer, but wrestling, I mean he just looks so unorthodox. The best wrestler in the world is Randy Orton.
okay,
He can play babyface and he can play a heel better than anybody in the world.
there you go.
But the GOAT, obviously, is Hulk Hogan. I mean, he is still, just with him the other day, and he's getting up in the years. He's 68 now, and just seeing him, for the last 6 weeks, I've been at his house and just seeing him every day, and what he goes through is what he's done to his body.
Sure.
Like the kids nowadays, if they have an issue, they're in rehab or they're doing this, they're getting paid. Back then, they didn't get paid unless they wrestled. So if Hogan was the card, you know what I mean, the main event, if all the people depended on him to bring in all that big money coming in because they get paid by the events, you know what I mean? They got paid that way. So if Vince made 20 million, they split a million between all the boys. Obviously Hogan would get paid his amount, and then
Sure.
the WrestleManias would get paid way more. So depending on where you are on the card, that's where the money was back then. Now these guys get $400,000 or $500,000 contracts if they're sick or not. If they, you know what I mean, it's not like it used to be. I mean, there's no, I mean, they were traveling,
There
365 years. I mean,
sounds
365 days a
Yeah, it
year.
sounds to me like what you're describing is, back then, these guys weren't insulated. They didn't have
No,
all these safety nets in place.
yeah,
Whereas, you came up in that generation of blue collar, like, hey, if you don't work, you don't get paid. That's